welcome to my presentation introducing my poster for the Research Ethics Conference 2021. My poster focuses on ethical considerations in and for a post-human world, and I draw on the research I'm currently undertaking for my doctorate, research into play and learning alongside children and non-humans in an early years educational setting. The term post-human refers to the idea that humans are not separate from nature and argues that we need to move away from humanism, which places man at the top of all species. Karen Barad argued in their influential book, Meeting the Universe Halfway, that we emerge through our relations, our interactions with all living and non-living things we encounter. Thinking with this philosophy, we move beyond anthropocentric thinking that sees the human as separate from and superior to everything else. We cannot divide nature and culture, the two are entangled, and this is particularly significant at the moment in an era that earth scientists are calling the Anthropocene, because of the way in which humans have become the single most influential species on the planet, causing significant global warming and other changes to environment, water, organisms and atmosphere. Natural and cultural phenomena have become fundamentally entangled, and this poses ethical dilemmas for how we think and act, and particularly so in education and educational research. So my research focuses on children's play and learning in and with non-human nature in an early years educational setting. Many educators are seeking to address the worrying decline in the amount of time children spend outdoors through things like forest schools and outdoor nurseries. And exciting and innovative research methods have been developed to find out what children learn and do in these environments. However, post-human lens requires us not only to think about what these environments provide the human, but also to think about these relationships between humans and the non-human that they encounter. Posthumanism requires us not only to shift in terms of decentering the child and the human, but also to think about the changing relationship between adults and children, which also poses significant ethical challenges. Karen Murris puts forward a figuration known as the post-human child, which disrupts dominant ways of thinking about children, such as children as innocent or developmental. These traditional deficit models of childhood tend to place children as becoming adult, rather than recognising that we are always becoming. The post-human child is capable of researching and exploring their own world, and they are already enmeshed within the common worlds that they inherit and inhabit. So my poster tries to highlight some of these post-human ethics, firstly by looking at the young child as researchers, as co-researchers. So looking at how we can share these embodied mutual experiences, how we capture these experiences using more than just language, which so often means that it is the adult who has the language who is able to do this. We're starting to think about ways that children can be involved. It's about finding apparatus and innovative ways of capturing or creating data together, such as wearable cameras, such as drawings and photographs, and also this idea of spending time together to focus on those relationships. It's also on this idea of a collective field journal, so that the children are also involved in making decisions about what counts and what is going to get included, because it's these cuts that matter. It's these decisions that are part of the ethical process that happens throughout the research. It's not just attending to children, but also thinking about the more than human. So thinking about the animals, the plants that we encounter, and all of the ethical dilemmas that happen when we start to think about this, how we learn with them and how we treat them and what we're learning with these different species. It's about thinking about ourselves as responsible. So our responsibility as researchers is to think about how our actions count and how our relationships count. So this idea of post-human ethics, the key concept is this idea that ethics is entangled throughout the whole of the research process. So right from when we start thinking about who asks the questions, what counts as data, and then finally how we make those different decisions about what gets cut, what the golden moments are, and what is going to get written up. Barad talks about an ethico-onto-epistemology, arguing that ethics cannot be separated from knowing and being. And it's one of the reasons why I'm really excited to be here at this ethics conference today, so that we can really explore what this means in practice. So this idea that we cannot separate ethics from knowing and being. And I'm really looking forward to hearing how other people have approached the challenge of situated emergent ethics.